This is part 3 on the interview with Mica Millers' dad on Sidebar. We're going to talk about what he thinks about John Paul's alibi. I still have other parts to go, so make sure you follow. That way you don't miss any of the parts or any of the details, because this is a lot and I'm trying to break it down for you. As well as if I get any updates about this case, I'll be sure to let you know, as well as cases to come. So basically, and I'll put this clip at the end of the video, her dad is saying he says that he has an alibi. The police are saying that John Paul has an alibi. They have not physically seen a picture or video of him physically. They've seen pictures and videos of his truck with blacked out windows, but they can't see in the truck to see that it was him inside the truck. And the dad is asked if anyone has pictures of him during that time where he claims that he was, please hand it over to the police so they have that information, because they have not seen anything of the sorts. He also goes on to say that we know that John Paul has put multiple 4 or 5 tracking devices on her car over the course of this time. There's police reports about it. It's known news. He asked the police when they were talking to them about this, did you check her car for a tracking device before you took it off? And they were like, nope, no tracking device, we didn't check. Why would you not check for a tracking device on her car when it is known that there's been multiple tracking devices on her car? So there's that evidence that we're not going to get back. The autopsy, we can't get a second autopsy. They didn't do a thorough autopsy in the first place, but now she's cremated. And they did not do a thorough toxicology report as well. And they can't do that again because she's cremated, which John Paul pushed to have done very, very quickly. Her dad also talks about this in the interview. I'm going to play that clip for you. Let me know what you think in the comments.
Okay, well, I'll share what we spoke to about with the authorities, the sheriff in North Carolina. Also, as far as with his location, we've seen pictures of his truck. It had dark windows. Was it even him in there? Where's pictures of him physically there? We haven't seen those. They have not been produced. If someone else has them, we would like to see them to prove that he was there, because otherwise it could be anybody in that truck. So the theory would be that because she had multiple tracking devices put on her car previously, that she was followed out to the park or forced to go out to the park, and they either follow her out there, or there's no reason for her to go out there. That's the main point as well. She's never been out there. We don't go up there. It's not a family spot. And she was off the trail enough into a park ranger only area that nobody knows about. And so the theory would be that she was either tracked, and then they said, well, we didn't find a tracking device. Well, they could have removed it at the park. When the car was at the park and then it was collected by the authorities, they didn't check for a tracker, which blew my mind. They said, oh, we have all the evidence and everything. We asked them, was there a tracker on her car? And they said, well, we didn't check. And we were flabbergasted. This happened over and over during that interview. Why didn't you check that? We know that there was 3 or 4 trackers put on her vehicles. Why wouldn't you check to see if she was followed? They said, oh, there's no cameras, but we know she wasn't followed. Her car is just out here. And I said, well, there's no trackers. They said no tracker. I said, well, they could have removed it after they did the deed. So then Mica's mother, Angelita, she said, pretend this is Mica's hand. And she asked me, grab this hand. And then she pulled it up, and said, it looks like someone squeezed her hand and raised it up and shot. And there are defensive wounds from it and such. And that's the general idea of our theory, that somebody crushed her hand to hold the gun up to her head while she's fighting. Either them or someone else held her other hand or her other arm back, because there's bruising on it from squeezing. And they forced it to look like that was self-inflicted, and a couple of rounds went off during the scuffle. One ejected was live, and then it finally happened the way they would want it to happen. And then